Hi everybody, my name is Weinman and I represent Pathways to Inner Mastery, a membership site that we are setting up to build online spiritual community, a community where we can discuss all kinds of topics around consciousness, around transformation, etc. If it's the first time I am meeting you, thank you for interacting with me. And for everybody, this is now the second video in the series of 7, where I'm introducing 7 ways, 7 pathways to inner mastery, 7 different ways that we can start to learn to be more conscious. And as I said in the first video, although I am talking about these separately, I think very often they come together, and we'll talk more about that in the end. But in the meantime, I just wanted to go step at a time and start tickling your mind around different ways to becoming more conscious in our lives. In the first video, I talked about the physical level, about when we are ill, around when our bodies hurt, and learning to listen to our physical. It is always the easiest place to start. Because we can listen in. It doesn't take too much awareness, it just takes practice. The second level, however, which is the emotional level, is not always that easy. Know that, first of all, our society is not necessarily that happy with, no, happy is not the right word. Emotions are not a very popular thing. We get taught to bury them. We're told they're not okay. We learn not to express them. We learn to suppress them. Or they're gone to the other extreme, and therefore we're told they're bad. And so they have a bad rap. And unfortunately, what happens is when we don't express emotions, they get caught in the body. They get stuck in somewhere within our system. Because, of course, emotions are an energy. And if we don't express an emotion, it means we don't express an energy, and that energy then gets caught in the body, and the body hopes that one day we will come back and deal with it. But of course, we just haven't been taught how to do this. So I really want, part of my message is for us to start being more aware of what we do with the emotions that we go through day in and day out, or when we have really tough times. Where are they going? People will usually say to me, oh, I just push it away and I don't look at it, I need to be positive. And as a result, that energy is just getting stuck in the body. And of course, when energy gets stuck somewhere and it's not dealt with, it starts to slow down until eventually it manifests into something in the body, and that's when we get sick. So the emotions are quite an important layer. So I suppose the first thing is to look at just becoming aware of what you're feeling when. Do certain people trigger it? Do certain situations trigger it? Can you identify what it is? For many of us, we actually haven't even learned how to identify it. We feel things and we don't quite understand what they are. I know I was one of those people. It took me a while to start identifying. Sure, I feel sad here, or I feel jealous, or I feel angry, or gee, I'm really frustrated here. And I think that is one of the biggest steps. Is the first, as they say, the first step to healing is awareness. Just becoming aware of what we're feeling. So not trying to identify or process or clear, just stopping to listen to our emotions is incredibly powerful. And I know for a lot of spiritual practices that are out there, they talk about, burying the emotion so you can focus, get underneath the anger, go past the sadness, get past the loss. And I'm not sure if I agree with that. Maybe there are times when it's appropriate, but generally I think we can't really get underneath something or behind something or over something until we've allowed ourselves to feel what's really going on and to acknowledge it. So the first step is just to become aware. And yes, would you like to go and practice that? Give yourself the opportunity to just take a moment when you're in a situation to just ask yourself how you're really feeling. Or at night before you get into bed, go over your day, have a look at what happened, and see if you can pinpoint what you were feeling when. It doesn't matter if you expressed it or not. Just take a moment to stop and look at what that is. I am an energy therapist. I've been doing this for 25 years. I also run workshops for people who want to transform their lives. I teach people how to develop their minds. I teach people how to learn about their energy anatomy. And the one thing I've discovered is that most people either have never ever learned how to express emotions or don't know who to talk to about it. And usually that's when people end up with me. But even as they go through the process of discovering this layer, they start to realize it's not that easy to talk to the people around them. And so they start to look for people that are like-minded, people who have either been on a journey of discovery already, or people who are comfortable with expressing their emotions. We look for people that we feel safe with. And for many people, that's hard to find. So I've actually discovered in my own practice over the 25 years that people are looking for community to join. And I've been able to do that here in Johannesburg, where I work. Never mind, I've also done it over in Scotland when I lived in the Fintorn Foundation, learning how to connect with like-minded people. And this was the impulse for me to want to share this online. It gives everyone the space, they can come and go as they wish, to come and join people who are all on the path and ask questions, explore, and be brave enough to say what you need to say. To start unpacking and unfolding what it is that's caught in your body. And of course, the more we do this, the more it starts to shift our consciousness, the more we can start to be aware, the more we can start to be conscious in our every moment, which is a path on its own. And I think a very vital one. I couldn't say which one specifically carries the most weight. I don't really want to get into that because I think they're all so interconnected, but I think emotions, feeling emotions, expressing emotions, finding our voice is probably in the top 3 out of the 7. It carries a lot of weight. So I encourage you to go and have a look at what happens with your emotions. Where do you express? Where don't you express? Unfortunately, in the corporate world and in the world that we have out there, it's not something that is acceptable. And so, yeah, to find a space, even if you just acknowledge what's going on, whether you write about it, whether you just notice in the day, you don't necessarily have to do anything about it. I just wanted it to come to your awareness, to allow you to stop and compare. Where am I on this path? Where am I with my emotions? And see what starts to happen. Let me know. I'd love to know more. Otherwise, let me know. I'm on Twitter. My handle is at Pathways to Mastery. Pathways to Mastery with the number 2, or I'm on Facebook, Karen Weinman, Pathways to Inner Mastery, or the website pathwaystoinnermastery.com. So I look forward to meeting you. I'd love to hear what you think about this layer, the step to being conscious, and let's start to ripple it out. Let's start opening up and creating a more conscious world. I look forward to interacting with you, and I leave this with you. Dare to be conscious, and until we speak again, my name is Karen Weinman from Pathways to Inner Mastery. Thank you. Bye for now.